So we're in a world.
Mm-hmm.
You got that part?
Yeah.
All right, we're in a world that beehives exist in.
Yes.
Okay. Which implies, this is the hard part, which implies
Yeah.
that bees also exist.
Oh, because bees live in beehives.
Yes.
Okay.
A beehive cannot exist without a bee. It's a hive. Hi. Welcome back to Logline. It's been a long time since we've recorded an episode, but you won't know that because this will just come out 1 week after the other one came out.
Is that how it works?
I wouldn't know that either, but
Yes, that's how it works. On this episode, we have Benjamin Cooper. Ben Cooper.
Yes, my name is Benjamin Cooper. Yes. Thanks for the echo.
You're welcome. And so, Ben, this is your first time on the podcast. I don't know how much you've heard about it, but the premise is that we either take an idea that you have or randomly generate some words or phrases and talk about how we would make a movie out of it. And then by the end, we will come up with a log line and a title.
Yes. That sounds awesome.
So, if I could have one Julio Gangulio.
Oh, that's me.
That is you.
Is you?
If you could please present us with a random word or phrase.
Like any word or phrase?
RSTLNE.
I don't know what that means.
Those are the letters that you get on Wheel of Fortune when you go to the final board.
Oh, man.
Wait, really?
Yeah, they're the most common letters,
Oh, that makes sense.
according to Wheel of Fortune.
According to
I'm going to say
Wheel of
beehives.
Beehives. Okay.
Beehives.
Yeah.
And now, Ben, when you think of a beehive, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Very first thing.
Very first thing?
Yeah.
Bee movie.
Okay. Now, what's the first person that comes to mind when you think of beehives?
Don't say Jerry Seinfeld.
I was going to say Jerry Seinfeld. Okay. Yeah.
So we have bee movie, okay, which very quotable. People have gotten the entire bee movie script tattooed on their bodies.
How dare they?
Famously, I don't know how famous this is. A popular YouTube creator did a full ASMR redubbing of the entire bee movie.
That scares me.
It's a little scary. The other thing I think of when I think of bees and beehives is Nicolas Cage's famous
Not the bees
scene. So, Ben, we're in a world
in a world. Yes.
that has beehives exist in this world,
Okay.
and,
Yeah.
which implies that bees exist in this world.
I suppose that is true.
Right. Okay. Julian.
Wait, hold on. Can you backtrack?
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
No, like, can you... I didn't understand the progression of ideas there.
Oh, right. Okay.
Can you go back over that?
So we're in a world.
Mm-hmm.
You got that part?
Yeah.
All right. We're in a world that beehives exist in.
Yes.
Okay. Which implies, this is the hard part, which implies
Yeah.
that bees also exist.
Oh, because bees live in beehives.
Yes.
Okay.
A beehive cannot exist without a bee to hive.
Interesting.
So
Have you written this down?
Write that down. So Julian, or Ben, please provide us with a setting for this story. Time and place, please.
Well, for some reason, I was hearing the word beehive a lot when you were going over that, and I just
I heard
kind of
that too.
zoned out, but what popped into my head was Austin Powers saying,
Okay.
"Oh, beehive."
Okay.
So
Okay.
let's go. Let's keep it groovy.
Okay.
Go with the 60s.
So it is the 1960s in a world where Austin Powers exists and also beehives.
Also beehives.
And also bees.
Okay.
Are we where are we?
Okay. A world with Austin Powers and beehives. I feel like, if you're Austin Powers, you got to keep it sexy. And what's the sexiest place with beehives?
I actually don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
So you want okay.
Let's
The sexiest beehive.
The sexiest
realm.
place with beehives.
Well, what if we just take the sexiest place in general and add a beehive?
that works too.
That would work, yeah.
Yeah.
So Ben, in your humble opinion, what is the sexiest place in the world?
Well, it's definitely not Taiwan's red light district. I'll never go back there again.
Right, okay. Some people are saying this.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, I'm sorry. Okay. Sexiest place in the world?
Yeah,
huh?
sexiest place in the world.
Huh?
Please, RSTLNE.
RSTNLE.
Oh, the set of Jeopardy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or not Jeopardy. What's the one?
Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune. Vanna White's Wheel of Fortune, right?
Yeah.
Vanna White is real, yes.
Because she does the
I suppose that counts. Yeah.
she does the touching of the letters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sexily touching letters.
What if it's just like a game show?
A sexy game show
A
with
sexy
beehives?
game show with beehives and also Austin Powers.
Wait, okay, hold
and
on.
Perhaps Nicolas Cage.
So is this like the bee movie where our characters are bees? Or is this like human characters and then we incorporate a beehive?
Why not both?
Oh.
Well, I guess that would
So that's
also be
gotta
like B-movie.
Yeah.
some sort of sexy plot line between a bee and a person.
Ooh, let's not do that.
Yeah.
So, okay. Game show. Sexy game show.
Sexy game show.
In the 60s, did they have did most people have color TV in the 60s?
In the
I'll look it up.
60s?
I know
I
it existed.
I feel
Did
like,
most people have it? Was it widely accessible?
I feel like it was accessible, but it wasn't the dominant form.
Okay.
Okay, it was not until the mid 1960s that color sets started selling in large numbers.
But this is right when
So-
they started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe our sexy bee hive themed game show
Mm.
is one of the first game shows to be produced in color.
Ooh.
How does that fit into the plot?
Well, it's the 60s.
I do it like Isla, or what's that new show with the story of Lucy and the making of I Love Lucy or something like that?
Oh, the Ricardos?
Yeah. Do it like that, but someone's like fighting to make a color TV show about people getting stung.
And that's the game show.
That's the game
How many
show.
times can you get stung? But how is that sexy? Maybe they're just like naked?
Oh, you get those like 60 like what was what's the name of that movie with Cher about the people dancing?
Yep.
It's like a flapper, but not really.
A flapper.
I'm pretty sure it starts with a C.
Clapper?
No. Oh no, it starts with a B. Burlesque. Like
Burlesque.
burlesque
Flapper.
style, like bee people dressed like burlesque dancers.
Okay,
in, like, bee
I
costumes.
think we really need to make a decision right now.
Yeah, that's probably a good. Idea.
No, but is it actually bees or is it people?
I think both.
Are they? Is it a game show with people in bee costumes?
It could be.
No,
Sexy bee costumes.
yes,
Okay.
like yes, like imagine like burlesque dancers with the like yellow and black, got like
Antennas and little stingers on the back.
yes, very very tasteful.
And the set is hexagons like a beehive.
Yes, with stripes along the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then the challenge is to not get stung.
Okay. So we have
And when people do get stung, the dancers come out and they make a big show of it, like, "Oh, fuck you."
Okay, so it's like a humiliation show.
Wait, hold on. I was looking up what a burlesque dancer was
Yeah.
when you were saying that, Ben.
Yeah.
Can you say it again?
Well, is
You
it
can't
like
you can process it
it's
now.
like burlesque dancers are like it's like vaudeville, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Great.
Early form of theater, you know.
Oh, okay.
It's entertainment, kind of like a sexy thrill to it. Got the like
Ooh.
big feather fans and the like
Okay, yeah.
dancing with the like jazzy music.
But they're dressed like sexy bees.
Yes.
They dress like sexy bees.
Yeah.
And what's the point of the game show? I'm sorry. I was really kind of like honed in on.
So
the
we
whole-
have 4 contestants on.
Yeah.
And they have to complete bee-related challenges.
That's good.
Oh.
And if you fail the challenge, you have to get stung by a sexy burlesque bee.
It's
Is it a real bee?
This is what I was asking.
Right. Okay.
No. The dancers aren't bees, but the dancers take the bees to the people as punishment.
Right. Okay. So so a sexy burlesque bee dancer
Yes.
comes out with a
A
jar
human. Yes.
full of bees that you have to like stick your hand in.
Yes.
I just had a great idea.
Ding
Lay it
ding
out.
ding.
Go.
Ding ding ding! Idea bell.
Idea bell?
Oh, there it is. I heard it. It's so the protagonist.
Yeah.
What would raise the stakes for
Okay.
them when they're on a game show where if you lose, you get stung? They're
Yeah.
allergic
They're
to
allergic
bees.
to
Yes.
bees.
They're
Yeah.
allergic to bees.
Yes.
So-
That's the conflict. They sign up for the game show. They
Yeah.
don't know what the game show is, and then they come on set and like,
They're like, fuck.
yeah,
That's my one weakness.
yeah, turns into a horror film.
Yeah.
Like
Okay, so
gamey.
now we're getting into genre. Okay, cool.
Campy.
So let's get our setting finalized, and then we can move on to genre and like story beats.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So the setting, as it stands right now, 1960s, sexy burlesque bee game show
Yes.
where our main character is allergic to bees.
Yes.
Okay. So this is our setting. Now let's discuss who is playing some of these roles so we can understand
Ooh.
what their story beats will be.
Ooh.
So who is going to play? So first of all, I would love like a 22-year-old Vanna White. She's like old, right?
No idea. My knowledge
Yeah.
on Wheel of Fortune lore is quite minimal.
Well, let's just say Vanna White is like in her early 20s,
Mm.
and this is her first show gig.
Right.
And she is like one of the sexy burlesque bee dancers.
Right.
But she's like,
Wait. Who's the? Sorry to cut you off. Ding ding ding! Idea bell.
okay,
Who is the other guy who is on Wheel of Fortune?
Pat Sajak,
I want to say Trebek.
Alex Trebek.
Alex Trebek. Right. Wait. No. Was he Jeopardy?
Yeah,
he
he's
was Jeopardy
oh
guy.
fuck. Oh, sorry. I don't know.
It's Pat Sajak.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
That's
Pat
it.
Sajak. Okay.
That's
He
it.
should also be a sexy bee.
Mm.
No,
I think that might be good.
he's like a suave. It's like the '60s, you know. So like they got
So
those
they're
like
leaning into their gender roles.
Yeah.
yes, very heavily.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's got the trim suit, and he's got the like skinny microphone and
The
everything.
skinny microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So is he the host of the show?
I just looked up Pat Sajak bee suit.
Is Pat Sajak our host?
I feel like yes. Yes.
What if it's literally just Wheel of Fortune?
bees?
If you get a letter wrong, you get stung. That's too
Okay.
boring, but I thought it was a funny idea, so I had to say it.
Well, we can.
I'd like to
flesh
buy
out
a vowel.
the rules
sorry.
of our game show.
Da-da-da.
But okay, so we have Pat Sajak as our host. Vanna White is like the lead sexy burlesque bee. And there are other burlesque bees there. Our main character allergic to bees. Now,
Right.
earlier there was someone else I mentioned who is presumably allergic to bees.
What?
And
Yeah.
that is Nicolas Cage in his famous "Not the Bees" scene.
Oh, let's see.
Now I have no idea if
He's
it's
another contestant.
Yes, exactly.
He's been on before and he's never lost.
He's the reigning
Oh
champ.
shit!
Oh.
He's the reigning champion, and there's 4 contestants, and they have to each do these challenges, and then if you lose a challenge, you have to get stung by bees, and then you're eliminated. Right?
Yeah.
He's never lost a challenge before. He is so in tune with his bee-ness that he has never lost a challenge.
And he's just so insane because he's also allergic. And I think that fits Nick Cage.
Yes, but we don't reveal that he's also allergic.
Until
Right.
the end.
Right.
Until
Until
he
the
loses, and then he like fucking dies. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
got stung by a million bees.
Exactly.
Yeah. Not the bee.
Exactly. And he can say his famous line.
Yes.
Okay.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So this whole time so far, we've been talking about the movie as if the entirety of it takes place during this game show,
Right.
which probably is not the case.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
What happens for like the first 3/4 of the movie?
Okay.
I
So
think-
we can get into story beats. So
I think I think the main character is like down on his luck, needs money. He's like walking around. Someone's like, "Hey, you need some money? Go on this game show, man." And then he checks it out, and he's like,
ooh,
"Okay,
ooh.
game
Squid
shows,
Game.
game shows,
Ding,
yeah,
ding,
those
ding,
are becoming
ding,
big
idea
right
bell.
now. Let's make some money."
the guy initially works in like a factory and it's the 60s, so the working conditions are not great.
Yeah.
He works in a factory that makes honey.
So is this a narrative about like him being anti-bee?
I don't know if he's anti-bee, but he's like probably sick of bees.
He's sick of bees.
Yeah.
Sick of bees.
He's sick of the mind, sick of the bees,
The hive mind.
the hive mind.
Yeah. there's the name of the movie right there.
Hive mind.
That's the name of the game show.
There you
Ooh.
go. Now, that exists already. So
It does? A
Yeah.
game show called Hive Mind?
yeah,
Oh
No
God,
fucking way. No, it
damn.
doesn't.
yeah, it does.
Okay, I gotta look this
Oh,
up.
damn.
It's on Twitch. It's a Twitch game show.
Okay, well, this would be a movie about an actual game show called Hive
Mhm.
Mind. Okay, so like let's just roll with Hive Mind because I got a great idea that goes off of that.
Go for it.
The game show is collaborative. You work as a team to complete the challenges, but Nick Cage is actively sabotaging everyone.
Oh, interesting. So is he? But he's still a contestant.
Yeah.
So he has to complete his challenge, but he's also sabotaging other people.
Yes.
I see. So that's how he stayed on top.
Yes.
And that follows the rules, or does he do it subtly enough
subtle
that he like slips under
under the radar.
patent?
But
Under
maybe
the
maybe
radar.
he's like, a crowd favorite, or like the show really likes him because he brings in a lot of views. So like even if they do see something, they're not going to
Or
say anything.
He's really
it could be
suave.
both. It could be both.
He's slick.
He was hiddenly, or he was like lightly sabotaging in the beginning. Then the hosts catch on, but they realize he's getting popular. So then
Mhm.
they team with him.
Oh, they're in on it.
Oh,
Yeah, and then they get in
So
on
they
it.
rig it. The
Yeah.
protagonist somehow still manages to win.
Does he win though?
That's a good point.
Okay, so can we decide who our protagonist is? Because I think this will help with backstory.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
That's a
and
good
get
idea.
the first 3/4 of the story set up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they work at a factory.
Yeah. It doesn't. I was originally going to say a pickle factory.
Pickle factory.
pickle fact.
That is funny. Pickles are funny.
Yeah. Like,
Pickles are funny.
Pickles are undoubtedly
They're
fun.
just inherently funny.
ooh, you know what? 1960s Vietnam War is going on.
That's
know?
right.
It's just picking up. Works at a war factory.
It's just pickling up.
Like a make weapons
So
manufacturer.
this is now a war film.
no, not necessarily.
I
Well,
feel like we've been here before, hasn't it? One of our ideas was like become a war movie all of a sudden.
maybe not. It's just in the background. you
Okay.
know? It's just in the background,
Backdrop.
and it's in the backdrop. Yeah, and he maybe this is his way to dodge the draft is to get on this show.
Interesting.
Oh.
Okay. That's his
I like that, yeah.
motivation. Yeah. Where like he's considered part of the entertainment industry and that's important for the war effort.
Yeah, and this is right around the studio system era.
Yeah.
Like he signed on for a multi-show contract.
Interesting. Okay, yeah.
So this fits well with the character arc I'm imagining. So he's kind of like a coward at first. He's like, oh, I don't want to go and like kill people because only cowards don't want to kill people. Am I right?
Right.
And
well, if it's the 60s, yeah.
yeah, obviously. And then at the end, he like overcomes his like fears of like confronting others and stuff.
Brutally murders.
So that's
brutally
like
murdering people.
So is the theme like confidence, like gaining confidence?
Broadly, yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
I think it's him. Yeah.
Is it confidence or courage?
Courage, sure. That's a very 1960s word.
What?
So I'm thinking maybe the midpoint is when he gets accepted to be on the.
Yes.
And then
the
it
game
switches
show.
into that game show format.
Yeah, and that's
Okay.
that's like the
I'm
beginning
thinking-
of the development.
Yeah. I think maybe the third quarter of the movie is like preparation for the game show.
Oh,
do we not
and
see
like
him on
part
the
of the
game
game
show?
show? No, I think we
and
do.
part- okay.
Yeah, I think
So game show's like third act.
after being accepted, there has to be a little bit of like buffer time
Okay.
where he's like training. I don't know how the fuck you're gonna train.
Train.
We don't even know what the game show is at this point, but he trains.
It's B-related challenges.
Yeah.
I was thinking the introduction of the game show as a possibility to avoid the draft is like it's like the introduction of the conflict, and like the midpoint is like
The
when the
inciting
show
incident.
starts,
Mm.
and once he's on the show he realizes, oh fuck, and he's like scared as shit, but he needs to work hard and not die.
What if Nick Cage, in order to sabotage other people on the show, does just like absolutely heinous war crimes?
Yes.
What?
He's like
Like during the
poisoning
game
their
show?
drinks in the green room.
Yeah. He like he like burns someone alive with napalm.
It's telling me that Nick Cage is like a psychopath.
Yeah.
So he soaks the
Well, it's the Vietnam War, and so
gasoline.
when our main character gets there, he's like, "Holy shit, this is just like the war."
Oh shit, yo, go like full Jacob's Ladder and have it get all trippy and
Yeah.
mind fucking and shit,
Yeah.
and then at the end it reveals he was in the war the entire time.
Oh. So the game show is like an allegory for
Ooh.
Vietnam War.
Yeah,
that kinda what I'm hearing?
Or like what he wishes had happened instead,
Yeah.
but it
Mm.
kind of gets out of control like as he's dying. Like,
And it can become like a really fucked up game show where like instead of someone getting stung by bees, at one point they just like shoot him. Just on
So-
stage.
And this is like televised, right? Like this isn't like a Squid Game thing where they're like
Full
all
Joker.
isolated.
No.
go full Joker. Hey, Murray.
Okay, so this is not our reality. We got
No-
the Vietnam War. We got
no
60s. No longer. Yeah.
No longer is this our reality.
But it's still like partially, right? We're like in
Yeah.
the 60s. We got like,
Yeah.
okay.
It's not like full Eraserhead. It's like,
Yeah. It's
Okay.
it's just like general insanity, but based in reality.
yeah.
And the movie will start with a shot of a tiny little black and white TV of the game show playing. And then when it ends, there'll be a tiny little TV and it'll pull out and it'll be like in a tent in Vietnam.
Ooh. And he just got stung by a bee.
And he just got stung by a bee.
Like but he's in Vietnam physically
Yeah,
because it reveals that he didn't actually do the game show. It's all
correct.
Right.
He was, because he still is actually allergic to bees, he got stung by a bee and then he had to go to the infirmary because he was like having a really bad reaction.
and then he hallucinated all of it.
And then he hallucinated all of it, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, that's good.
But at the beginning, you have to show like the aesthetics of the game show while keeping it close to reality, and then keep those aesthetics in the as it transitions to the midpoint, so it seems like the game show isn't fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so who do we want to cast as our main character?
Michael Cera.
Michael Cera.
Michael Cera.
So when I asked this question about who we cast for the main character, just obviously because it's fun, but also depending on who you cast, it significantly changes
Yeah.
how the character is played.
Yeah, it does.
Michael Cera as his character, this awkward, like this socially awkward, frail boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I guess that was the type of people they were trying to get to go to Vietnam.
Awkward frail boys. Yeah.
When they were running out of the good people.
If you're a man, you get to go to Vietnam. If you're a woman,
You get to. Congratulations, son. You get to kill people.
Okay. So Michael Cera, do you have any objections to this?
No, I love Michael
Okay.
Cera.
I'm not entirely attached to this, so if anybody has suggestions that they want to bring up.
Can make it. No. I think that's gold.
Michael Cera, okay.
Super
Oh, yeah.
campy.
So this will be Michael Cera's first war film.
Yes.
Tonally, I have a question.
Yep.
So Michael Cera, automatically you're like, all right, this movie isn't serious one bit.
Mm.
Maybe it is a little bit, but it's mainly just like fucking silly.
Yeah.
Is that true for this movie? Does it change tonally? Does it shift over time?
You know what? I think yes. I do think it shifts, but I also think Michael Cera has the range to like pull off like that. You know, he's a good actor.
I think you could be
He
more
seems like
serious.
yeah, he can play serious. People just look at him and assume he's a goofball, but I think he has the chops.
I think he's got the chops, yeah.
I
think he could do it. I think just his presence on screen though is like very it sort of exudes this idea that like he is very not confident in himself and he's very sort of he physically he's small, right? And so in comparison to the other characters,
People are saying that.
people are saying this.
People are saying this.
In comparison to the other characters, like that's a really good juxtaposition to visually show that our character like is not the big war guy.
What if he wasn't small though? What if we paid Michael Cera to get Marvel jacked?
Okay.
So we got jacked Michael Cera.
So Michael Cera has become a 270-pound just big hunk of pure lean meat.
Pure boy
Chris-
lean meat.
Yeah.
Pure boy meat.
Think Chris
Yeah.
Evans in the first 15 minutes of Captain America versus Chris Evans in the 16th
yeah.
minute
Right,
of Captain
right,
America.
okay. But it's Michael Cera.
Yes.
But it's Michael Cera.
Okay.
It's Michael Cera.
And his height isn't changed at all. So he's just like a short king.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a short king, but like he's a short, fucking beefy king.
Yeah.
Short, beefy king Michael Cera. Okay. So he's our main character who is trying to dodge the draft.
And he's scared of bees because he's allergic.
And he's allergic to bees.
And they make him hallucinate.
So I guess it makes sense that he, in this version, because this is all hallucination, it would make sense that he's trying to dodge the draft even though he's like a very strong man.
Right.
Because-
it shows his moral.
Yeah.
It shows his moral objection. rather
Exactly.
than inability. You know.
Exactly. So he's trying to dodge the draft.
And since it's all a hallucination, you can have a physical change accompanying his tone, the tonal change, his like emotional change. So like as he starts hallucinating, he starts slimming down and down until he's like skinny Michael Cera, like we always know.
This is crazy.
This is crazy.
So he finds out about the game show. How does he get on the game show initially? Does he like apply for it? Does he just like happen to bump into?
He sees it at the army recruiting thing, you know? It's like playing on a TV in the background of like a recruiting station.
Oh, interesting.
And that's the start of the hallucination, you know? It's like this is what he chose instead of what he actually chose.
So in maybe toward the end of the movie, we show the series of events that he actually chose. But for the majority of the movie, it's the stuff that he like either wishes he chose or didn't. So maybe the last 10 minutes is like going through the entire movie on those pivotal scenes, but what he actually did, which is get drafted, go on a plane to Vietnam,
and
get dropped in,
Get stung by a bee.
Get
And
stung
now
by
he's
a
in
bee.
the infirmary hallucinating. You know, I was picturing like the tonal shift to be like start out funny and then get more serious and serious.
Yeah.
But the realization of the absurdity of like that recap of what actually happened, like that's not that goes out the window. That's too funny.
Cool. So
who's the host of the TV show? I think you got to go Seth Rogen.
Oh, you want Seth Rogen now?
Seth Rogen hosts the TV show.
So Seth Rogen is now our host, but Pat Sajak and Vanna White can still be there in bee-themed costumes.
Yes.
But they're like just helping run the show.
Yeah.
They're just like cameos.
They're like the people who like bring out the jars of bees and
Yeah.
the napalm and stuff.
And the napalm.
Isn't
right.
Pat Sajak dead?
No.
No,
He's not?
No, Alex Trebek is
Oh,
dead.
maybe that's, yeah. I get my game show hosts all mixed
Regis
Rest in
Regis
peace.
Philbin died a few years ago. And he looks kind of like Pat Sajak.
Does he?
Yeah.
I don't think he does.
Regis definitely looks a little bit like Pat Sajak.
Maybe a little bit.
And they were both like in TV.
I think Alex Trebek looks more like Pat Sajak. To be honest.
In my humble opinion.
My.
up. We should do an episode where we just like make a game show.
The game show app?
Yeah.
Okay.
Glad we're on the same page.
All right, Seth Rogen, bee costume, bee suit, Tiny Mike.
Tiny Mike?
The classic.
Oh, Tiny Michael.
Oh, no.
Sarah.
Tiny Michael Sarah.
Yeah, I was actually convinced that's what you meant by that. What the fuck do you mean by
like the skinny
like an actual microphone? Okay.
Yeah,
You know,
with
game
it'd be
show
on the
host
stick and
or-
they'd hold it.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yeah.
they got the like 2-finger hold on it. 'Cause if they hold it any harder, it's gonna
It's
break.
gonna break. Yeah. Okay. And so Seth Rogen's hosting the show. He's got his iconic laugh. So anytime someone makes a joke, he'll be like, whatever, his laugh. Audrey, insert his laugh right now.
Inserted over Nick's laugh every time.
That would be. Wow. I would love that. I would love that.
Just.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
That's great. And so he's hosting the show. So now let's flesh out the actual like some of the challenges that Michael Cera is going to have to do. So initially, my first thought was one of the challenges is like to climb up a ladder that's just covered in honey.
Yeah.
Would that be kind of easy?
Well, that's the first challenge.
Yeah.
The
But
ladder.
then this is where
the ground is covered in honey too.
Yes, this is where we show.
So he has to balance on a ladder.
Yeah, and it's
slippery as hell.
it's a lean ladder. It's not like a like a folding ladder.
It's just constantly slipping out. And he has to make it to the top.
It's a ladder that's leaning against a wall.
Okay.
You know, it's like sliding out from under him, and he has to touch the top of a.
There's like a
platform.
button up there or something.
Yeah.
It was like a hexagonal.
Yeah, it's like
Button.
Yes.
it's like American Ninja Warrior with the warped wall, except it's not warped. He just has to.
He has to climb a honey-covered ladder.
That's right.
It's the same thing.
So, but this challenge, it's not supposed to be super hard. But this is where we reveal that Nick Cage is like sabotaging other people because you can see that one of the other contestants, Nick Cage, is like doing some fucked up shit to their ladder.
He put like spikes on their ladder, like stingers.
Yeah,
Oh,
stingers,
yeah.
bee stingers.
Yeah.
Or like, I can't.
Agent Orange.
Orange. Oh man. Oh yeah.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. It's a progression
Not
you
yet.
need to follow. Nick Cage's ladder is like it looks like honey, but it's actually super glue. So it's like very solid.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nick Cage.
Nick Cage.
If he was evil, what would he do?
Well, he shot a little girl in the chest in Kick-Ass.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
I never saw that.
Oh, that movie's awesome.
He could shoot people in the chest.
But that's
Wow.
that's later.
All right. I mean, there's only 4 contestants.
That's
so only
some
so many
Seth
people he could shoot.
Rogen, like some Eric Andre stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Seth Rogen just turns around. He's just like, "That's enough." God.
What is so stereotypically Vietnam? Agent Orange, landmines, probably grenades,
Camouflage.
camouflage.
Rain. Yes.
Yeah.
Insects and serpents.
Yes.
Guerrilla warfare.
Guerrilla warfare. The dudes in the trees.
Bamboo traps.
Bamboo traps.
Was it bamboo? It was just like woodland traps.
Yeah. Okay. So how can we incorporate those subtly into bee-themed games?
Keyword subtly.
The ladder falls, the floor drops out, and they're in a spike pit.
Okay.
And
Great.
Seth Rogen just laughs it off.
Sounds like Sans. It's a Sans laugh. Okay. So first challenge is getting up the ladder, and they have to hit a hexagonal button at the top. What's I need like 2 or 3 more challenges.
Bee-themed challenges. That's a very hard thing to think of for me.
They can kind of just be
Pollinate the flower. They gotta
they can
move
be just
something-
vaguely bee themed.
They gotta
Yeah.
move something from one side of the set to the other side.
But there's some, as noted famously in the Bee Movie, what can't bees do?
Talk.
They do talk
They
in that
talk
movie.
in that movie.
Oh.
Bees can't fly in the rain.
Oh.
And you know what Vietnam has a lot of?
Rain.
Rain. So maybe one of the challenges
Raining honey. They like swim through a big thing of honey, but it's also raining honey.
Yes. And honey famously very hard to swim in.
Ooh. What?
Because it's quite thick
Yes.
and sticky.
yes.
Once they get out of the pool, they have to crawl through the barbed wire. At the,
You have to crawl under.
they gotta crawl under the barbed wire.
So it's like
That's where they gotta take the object under the barbed wire.
It's just like military training. Okay, what if in the flashback he never actually makes it to Vietnam? He's just in military training. And then he gets stung by a bee, and then he goes to the infirmary, like, in the U.S. still.
And this is what he imagines Vietnam like not imagines Vietnam, but this is like his worst fears of Vietnam,
Yeah.
manifesting.
so then we have to have Agent Orange.
Yeah, it was definitely
Okay, great.
Agent Orange.
Cool.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so first challenge, get up the ladder covered in honey. There's a lot of honey challenges so far.
Bees make honey.
Bees
make
make honey. There's a few things bees are known for. It's
Bee movie.
pseudo-sexual relationships with women.
Yeah.
And honey. So, ladder challenge. That's challenge number 1. Challenge number 2 is swim through a pool of honey while it's raining honey.
Yeah.
And then after you get out of the pool, you have to crawl under. But it can't just be like barbed wire itself. It has to be disguised as
That's
like
flowers.
yeah, as flowers or a honeycomb structure.
Yeah. Honeycomb barbed wire. It's like arranged in a hexagon.
Yeah.
It could just be like an obstacle course.
Yeah.
Like first you swim through honey, you climb under the thing.
Yeah.
It would just be like a,
But it would
I
be
should make it to the
it'd
other
be
side.
bee-themed.
Yeah.
it'd be bee themed.
Yeah.
Because there's honey there.
Yeah.
exactly.
And flowers.
Duh. Okay, so that's challenge number 2. Challenge number 3.
How many challenges are we going for?
3 minimum probably, because then that's enough to establish that
That
Nick Cage is
fucking
evil.
with people.
Well, if
And
one person gets eliminated per
exactly.
thing,
Then the 3rd challenge would be the final challenge anyways.
Right. Okay. So third challenge is the final challenge. I say survive the sting.
Survive a sting.
Survive the sting. That's when Seth Rogen pulls out a gun. Shit gets real nuts.
Survive the sting. He's just like, you got to survive this, man.
watch out, I'm going to shoot you.
Nick Cage has got like filled the gun with blanks and squibs and shit.
Interesting. Okay.
They
Wait,
have squibs. in
does
the
that mean
60s?
it's like a Russian roulette type thing?
Oh, but they have to avoid like aggravating the bee, and if they aggravate the bee, they get stung.
Oh.
Interesting. So what are they doing that they have to avoid aggravating the bee? Like, what is the actual challenge? This is like the substance of the challenge. This is like the outcome.
What if it's like a maze,
Ooh, okay.
which is an allegory for the jungle,
Exactly.
Vietnam.
Yeah.
And there's like, they step on certain things.
There's traps.
Bee,
Yeah.
There's traps, and bees come up.
I
And
see.
there's like gorilla bees.
Yeah.
And that's where the Agent Orange comes in.
That's where the Agent Orange comes in.
It's like gaseous honey.
She's so honey.
Everything is honey based.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's a bee themed game show.
Oh, of course.
Right.
Okay, yeah. So they have to navigate a maze, and there's a flower in the middle that they have to find. But there are traps everywhere that they have to keep a lookout for. And if they trigger too many traps, you aggravate the bees,
Yeah.
and they come to sting, i.e., Seth Rogen shoots you. But this is when it's revealed that Seth Rogen is in on it with Nick Cage.
Right. Yeah.
That to sabotage all the other players because Nick Cage gets a lot of good views.
Yeah.
Right.
Really good
They're gonna
ratings.
keep milking him until
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is the point where our character is at their lowest because they think they can't win.
So do they
Yeah.
know at this point?
It is probably revealed at this point to the main character.
I
Yeah.
think the escalation of the like fucking crazy shit is enough for them to be like, what the? I'm not surprised.
So in classic movie fashion, characters in their moment of true desperation will make very bold decisions. So what's our big bold decision that ends up paying off for our main character? For jacked Michael Cera.
Well, you know, if he's, it's got to be something relating to conquering his fear, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, is that the fear of bees and dying from bees, or the fear of Vietnam?
Interesting. Okay.
So if he's conquering the fear of bees, he gets stung. So he just forces Seth Rogen to shoot him. And then
Is that when he wakes up?
no, that's when he kills Nick Cage.
He
Like-
kills Nick
like
Cage.
yeah, like he comes back, like he gets stung, shot, and in his like dying moments or whatever,
Yeah.
he like fucks up Nick Cage.
Agent Orange.
Agent Orange. Yes, that's conquering the fear of Vietnam.
Okay. Right. Alternate path here. Hear me out.
Go for it.
He has to conquer his fears of going to Vietnam because the audience won't know this yet, but we've established that he's still in training camp, right? He's not actually in Vietnam.
Right.
So he's really scared to go still, even though he's in training camp. So maybe conquering his fear of going to Vietnam is like all of these things that he's been scared of the whole time. There are elements of those things in the maze, kind of like a video game where you go against your very first challenge in the game, and then you go to second and third, and then like maybe the fourth challenge will start playing on the elements that you learned in the first 2 or 3 challenges.
Right.
Right.
So maybe in the first one, he gets really scared from like the spikes on the ladder or whatever, but he learns how to deal with those. And then the second one, he like doesn't know how to like actually properly swim through honey, and he thinks he's about to drown, but then he gets out or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like developing the courage to
Exactly.
push through.
So then in this one, all of those elements are in the maze. And Nick Cage, of course, cheated to get through all of the things.
Yeah.
But this time it's a maze and there's no other contestants, so it's harder for him to cheat. So maybe he doesn't actually know how to get through these things.
What if this is the first time on the, like, since it's like a hallucination anyways, Nick Cage has never been in this maze, and he's like, well, like, even though it's like, it seems like Nick Cage is fucking terrified just as much as Michael Cera is, because Michael Cera only knows of what Nick Cage has done in the actual show.
Okay. So
Right, yeah.
so then there's some element of maybe Michael Cera still does set off a trap and like dies, but in his dying breath, maybe he pulls Nick Cage into like a pool of honey or like into something that he doesn't know how to get out of, and then we slowly watch Nick Cage sink.
Not
What's
the
Nick-
honey.
What's Nick Cage's fatal flaw?
Probably overconfidence.
Yeah, arrogance.
Or arrogance, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the opposite. I mean, he's the foil of
Yeah.
Michael Cera.
It could be an allegory for like people who joined the war.
Yeah, the people who were like,
In, like-
fuck, this is going to be easy.
Yeah,
in
I'm gonna,
and
like-
out. Yeah.
I'm gonna like kill people. Yeah.
America.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So
Yeah, he's not afraid to get his hands dirty.
so let's make a decision then.
Sticky.
He's not afraid to get his hands
Does Michael
sticky.
Cera lose? And what I mean by that, does he lose the game show? Like, does he set off a trap or something, get shot, but then in his dying breath, also kill Nick Cage?
I think that depends on what exactly we're going for with his character arc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If he's learning to face his primal fears of like drowning and bees and
Yeah.
such,
Yeah.
Primal B.
does winning represent that? Or is the point of the movie that because we lost the Vietnam War? I don't know where I'm going with this.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out if winning or
Yeah.
losing like makes more sense
Yeah.
for the message of the movie that war is not good.
Well, let's ask our guest. Would you rather he win and the message is sort of like he overcame his fears? Or would you rather that even after all this, he still loses because there's no winning in war?
So I think that depends on how tightly you weave war into the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we just leave it like under the surface and we only really connect it at the end and have the rest be like allegorical that you like connect after the fact,
Mm-hmm.
then I feel like it's more of a personal story than a war story, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And in that
Mm.
case, I think winning is like overcoming your fears. But if on the other hand, we like weave war into it like more transparently,
Mm-hmm.
I suppose, then I think losing would be the best outcome, you know? Because losing would connect that like deeply to like war is hell,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
So
Um,
what would you prefer?
That's a good question.
I have a third option.
Okay.
What is
Nobody wins.
Ooh.
Well, that's kind
everybody
of
dies because in war.
that's kind of
No,
what
there's no
the
winner.
They set off the
Michael
Agent
Cera
Orange.
Yeah,
Michael Cera dying is kind of that option already because he's taking Nick Cage with him.
Ooh, third option, Michael Cera kills Seth Rogen.
Mm.
Wow. So he's standing up to big government.
Big
who want to kill other people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is morally objecting to the war. He's an objector, and he sticks it to the man.
Yo,
Seth Rogen represents the government.
okay, yes, Seth Rogen represents the government, and the live audience represents like the American people who are
The
all
American
like
public, yeah.
foamy mouthed on war and shit.
Yeah.
What if he finds a button in the maze that releases the Agent Orange and it says "Do not press"?
It
whatever you
wipes out the studio, the
Yes,
entire
He
studio.
kills everyone, including himself.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like he already knows he's gonna die,
Yeah.
but then so he's just like, fuck it.
Yeah. Like he was shot. Like he was shot. He stumbles back into the maze and they're like doing the wrap up of the show. And then he presses the button and the Agent Orange comes in and fucking wipes out everyone.
Fantastic. I love it. And that
Or it
shows
drowns the place in napalm.
Oh my god.
Everyone burns.
Honey infused napalm.
Yeah, it's okay. That's how we can transition
Flammable
into that's a possible transition into him like being in training or whatever. Is that honey starts dropping from the ceiling, but it's on fire, and then it fades into napalm, like covering like a jungle. And they're like doing like napalm like fire training or something.
Yeah,
Ooh. That's good.
and then go to the
Oh,
infirmary and
He's at like a training base in Vietnam and the Vietnamese are attacking the base.
Oh yes,
and he's just in there
Dying.
tripping balls on
yeah.
bee sting.
On bee sting.
On
On
bee
bee
sting.
sting.
That's what I like to do in my free time.
Trip balls on bee sting.
My favorite recreational drug.
Bee.
Got to get some of that bee venom.
So I think one thing I still want to develop more is the first half of the movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he goes to the draft because he's like going to get drafted.
Mm-hmm.
But then he sees this show and he's like, I should do this show.
Mm.
What happens between then and actually going to the show?
Getting on the
He,
show.
of course, gets accepted.
Mm-hmm.
Goes.
I think you need a bit of like contemplative like meditation, you know, like this is my duty as a patriot, but this will keep me alive as an individual. It's like,
Maybe this is where we
reminding
set up
us-
his like moral
moral objection.
conflict or moral objection because like there's a lot of propaganda out at the time that's like, you know, do this for your country and like be a patriot and you know, go to war because, you know, think of all the things that the country's done for you, you know, that famous JFK quote.
Yeah.
I
Ask not what.
Exactly.
something.
Yeah,
Something.
exactly. So
You know the rest.
maybe this is where we sort of set up that internal conflict, and maybe he lives at home with like his dad who fought in World War II, and his dad's like, oh, you like have to go. Like I did my duty, you have to do yours.
So we want to contrast Michael Cera's views with somebody else's.
Yes.
Which we could also do. I thought of this. Have like a POV switches between Michael Cera and Nick Cage.
Oh,
I was even thinking maybe
yeah.
introducing the movie. You said at the beginning, like introducing the movie with like the TV, showing the like actual show.
Yeah.
Have it start out with Nick Cage, like introduce his character right away.
And he's on the TV.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Because he's a contestant that's been on the show multiple times.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I like that.
Yeah, I'm. I like the idea of having another character like a dad who is an influence, because I feel like the whole first half of the movie he doesn't actually interact with any of the contestants or with
Yeah.
you
know what? Why don't we could make it two characters. Maybe his dad's been like shell shocked or something, but like his mom or sister or something is like or is like falling into the propaganda, and they're like, this is your duty. You need to do this. But his dad's like fucking senile.
Yeah.
And so,
oh, interesting.
and they're at the audience of the game show, and you can see that they're like cheering him on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or his dad's just sitting there like fucking dead-eyed.
Just blank
and
face,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
And his like the other relative is like cheering him on and shit.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I think that's a good contrast, because then it's kind of like foreshadowing like what war does to people and how our character could end up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then his mom's like, no, you have to do this. She represents like the patriot, the like.
Yeah, and that also like that also kind of foreshadows the like hallucination, you know, because if they're all like pro propaganda, like rah rah USA, whatever the fuck, then why the fuck would they want him on a game show? They'd want him overseas.
Yeah.
Fighting, you know.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Is there any other stuff you want to develop at the beginning of the movie? Because we're almost out of time.
Not that I can think of.
Okay, so this is the part of the show where Larry comes out and sings a silly song. No, we need to come up with a logline and a
Where's
title.
my hairbrush? Where's my logline?
So a logline is just as a
where
reminder, it's a 1 to
is my
2 sentence
logline?
description of like the main
Yeah.
plot of the film.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to start something like Michael Cera is describing him.
Michael Cera as
Yeah. So
a destitute and morally conflicted youth joins a game show.
write that down.
Write that down.
A destitute and what?
I don't know.
Michael Cera is no. Keep going.
And I don't know. Morally
Morally conflicted?
yeah. Destitute youth is faced with the decision of his life.
Right.
Destitute
Okay.
And
youth.
decides to join a game show where the odds are ever decreasing.
Oh, I thought
Its odds of survival are slim.
Destitute youth. Threatened with
destitute youth. Parentheses. Michael Cera.
threatened by Michael Cera.
A jacked destitute youth.
Yes, that makes this.
Jacked.
When you think about that, that makes this so much better, you know, because he's a coward, but he's like physically able,
yeah.
you know. And it's also Michael Cera.
A jacked destitute youth, Michael Cera.
That's his name. We're not even gonna change his name.
Yeah,
No,
it is
no.
Michael Cera.
It's like that new Nick Cage movie out, Unbearable Weight.
Mhm. He's just Nicolas Cage.
He's Nick Cage. Seth Rogen is Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Nick Cage is Nick Cage.
So
Yeah,
a,
we're just, yeah.
A jacked.
This is what I got so far. A jacked destitute youth, Michael Cera, avoids the draft in favor of
An
an
opportunity to make some money. I don't know.
opportunity
of
in favor
Joining
of
joining isn't the right verb. I can't think of a verb.
Favor of the competition of his
Competing.
lifetime.
Favor of
competing on a game show.
competing on a game show.
Hive mind. I still say we call it hive mind.
Okay.
Competing on a game show.
Let's do one more sentence that describes like his character change. He learns to. Does he overcome his fears?
Yes, I think he turns his fear into rage.
Interesting.
He turns his fear into an agent of change, you know? Like,
so that is still overcoming, but it's not overcoming in the traditional
Yes.
sense of like
it's like a transformation.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just like
so
yeah.
he learns to overcome his fears of
War.
of war. So then we have to establish that this is in the 60s.
Right.
I said Michael Cera avoids the Vietnam draft
Ooh.
Okay,
You know what?
gotcha.
Yeah.
in favor of competing on a game show. He overcomes his fears of war and bee stings.
These things.
War and bees.
Bees. Of war and bees.
War and
Jeez.
ding ding
No
ding idea.
way. No fucking way. War and bees.
War and bees.
War and bees.
War and bees. Oh my
Holy
god.
shit.
War and bees.
It's been there the whole time.
We were too blind to see it.
It's so good.
He overcomes his fear of war and bees. Holy shit.
All right. Title. Are we going Hive Mind or War and Bees?
Let's make it a
War and bees.
War and bees. War and bees.
Still not happy with this log line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you want more?
have something. With the rise of daytime television, game shows become game shows dominate the popular culture. When a destitute youth
Jacked Michael Cera.
when a destitute youth, Jack Michael Cera, finds an opportunity on the show Hive Mind, he gets in over his head. I don't know.
He learns to overcome his fears
Yeah.
of war and bees.
Of war and
War and
bees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you write that down? Did you get it?
Yeah. I'm just adding a bit more to the game show part.
Julian's brain is there's like smoke coming out of his
Spinning.
ears right now.
It's spinning.
Do you hear that train? Anybody make a good train sound to fill the silence while I type this?
I can do the Doppler effect. Yeah.
That was really good. Oh my god.
Yo. All right, I got it.
All right, read it out to us.
Changed it a bit. A jacked destitute youth, Michael Cera, avoids the Vietnam draft in favor of competing on a game show, which unfortunately shares many similarities to the war itself. Through the experience, he overcomes his fear of war and bees.
War and bees.
And the movie is titled
War and bees.
War and bees.
War and Bees. All right,
Coming to
fantastic.
theaters near you.
In theaters
Yeah.
near you. Thank you so much, Ben, for
Hear
coming
that,
on.
Michael Cera? We got the next project.
That's right. Do you have anything you want to shout out / promote before you leave?
No, not really.
You
It's
got
fun.
like a Twitter or something?
No.
Okay, well, he doesn't have a Twitter. So
Add me on LinkedIn.
add
Ayo.
on LinkedIn. Ben Cooper. And thanks.
B49.
B-
Go watch Ditched and A Road Without
yes,
Us.
Ditched and A Road Without Us.
hype
That's
that up.
right.
Yeah.
B49 aroadwithoutus.com. That has our movie maybe on it at some point.
Coming to film festivals, maybe not near you.
No,
but,
just whichever ones will take it, honestly.
Yeah.
some of them.
Some of them. Cool. Well, thanks for coming on, Ben.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
This was a fun episode, and
This was really fun.
we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.